Howdy, folks. So, I couldn't stop thinking about the midterm elections. And it finally dawned on me that YouTube is banning people who call the election early. Which is ironic because they're only banning people who call it the way they don't like it. They're actually promoting sites that call the election early, that the way they do like it. If that sounds communist, then I can't change that. Draw your own conclusions. But I finally got together enough proof that the Republican in Arizona got the most votes. YouTube doesn't like this. I was tempted to come out and say that she won, but I won't say that because they can ban you for that. But let's just say she got the most votes, and if she doesn't get inaugurated, then YouTube did it. Well, I've heard Google was involved too, but then Google is the parent company of YouTube now, so. So there's no nice way of putting it. That the elections lack a certain amount of voting. They say we're hurting the democracy by complaining with the votes not being counted properly. That's in the country where I come from. That's called a pipe dream, or fever dream. I like fever dream even better, because they're taking away your democracy by forcing the candidate that they've already chose on you, and modifying the entire voting system to support that possible outcome. So yeah, I don't vote much because that vote won't be counted. If there ever comes a election where we can vote for who counts the votes, I'll vote in that one, because that's all that matters anymore. I don't like throwing the word communist around, but I could have swore it was Stalin himself that said, I don't care who's on the ballot as long as I control who counts the votes. We can avoid the name calling, but let's just say he wasn't not a communist. He's kind of the poster child for centralized government when you think about it. So yeah, I officially did and didn't call the Arizona election. I haven't even had time to research the Wisconsin election yet, but I bet you at least $1,000 that wasn't totally above board either. I heard the Democrat lost in Georgia, which is awesome. I don't know if they tampered with the votes or not. I don't see why you'd want to tamper with the votes when 90% of Georgians wanted the sane person. It'd actually be counterproductive to tamper with the votes when you got a pretty solid majority like that. As long as we're on the subject, we might as well note that the voting machines have a tendency to vote on their own. There's not actual people's names connected to the votes. They're IDs, or they're not a human ID. They're a computer ID, like a MAC address, connected to each vote. Especially the votes that came in after the polls closed. That, I'm not going to come out and use the F word, but let's just say that process leaves a lot to be desired. I thought it was amusing, though, that there's a couple of commentators saying that a couple of times the machines tweaked the votes for the Republican, and that somehow proves there's some democracy going on all up in here. That bugs me. Because cheating for one side isn't technically morally superior to cheating for the other side. That almost proves that the system is not okay. Well, and yeah, you could make a case that proves that the system is morally bankrupt, because the person who owns the voting machine manufacturing plant is a card-carrying communist. But they will occasionally let the Republican win because they need the money. I don't know how to say this nicely, but there's one thing a card-carrying communist can't resist. It's a big pile of unmarked bills. Oh, sorry about that. I lost track of the time. But yeah, be careful who you vote for. Thanks for watching.